Hopefully. Oh, it looks like we're all right. Okay. Yep, not frozen anymore. We're ready to go. And we are set for action. Let's just hop right into qualifying here for a moment. Got the Drydene 400, Dover International Raceway, as we're going to qualify with Ryan Blaney here, the first race of the round of 12 in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Coming in as the #1 seed. With a lot of playoff points at hand, but hopefully we can get through Dover and have a pretty solid points day, if not win this race, so we can go into Talladega not having to worry about anything. Not the best lap through turns 1 and 2. It was alright. A lot better through turns 3 and 4. Really got to stick to bottom that time. Off of turn 4 at the line. 23.321. That is 11th fastest in qualifying. Not too bad. Just outside the top 10 here for this one. Your pole sitter is going to be Kurt Busch. Surprising qualifiers. Rookie Tyler Reddick qualified 3rd. David Reagan qualified in the 8th position. Not too bad. See if we got any notable playoff drivers. Matt DiBenedetto starting 28th. Not the greatest for him. Not too shabby. All right. So, technically, this is the NASCAR... Oh, well, I guess this was last season. Okay, so never mind. Forget what I was going to say. We're just going to hop right into things here. Again, qualified 11th. We got the Drydene 400 at Dover International Raceway. This should be a good one, to say the least. Got Brendan Gaughan starting at the rear of the field here today, as well as Chris Buescher. David Reagan going to have a fast car. He obviously had a fast car in qualifying. Qualified inside the top 10. So it'll be interesting to see how he does as a non-playoff driver in today's race. We're down to 12. Who will win and advance themselves into the round of 8 if they are a playoff driver today? The green flag is in the air at Dover International Raceway. What a restart from the 11th position. Unbelievable. Looking for the lead into turns 1 and 2. How did we get through there so fast? We're in the lead off of turn number 2. That was probably the best restart I've ever had, but now we slip up the track into turns 1 and 2. Again, the car pretty loose, but it looks like we're somehow going to lead the opening lap of the race at Dover as Tyler Reddick and Kyle Busch battle it out behind us right now for second. Reddick, another non-playoff driver, qualified inside the top 3 for today's race. Now Truex looking in for second place. He's got it. 120 laps in the opening stage of the race. Looking for every point necessary. Look at how loose this car is. Led the first few laps of the race somehow, some way, despite qualifying 11th. A huge jump on the inside. I'm not sure if both lanes kind of stalled out in front or what the case was there, but took it 3 wide for the lead into 1, and like I said, we've led every lap since. Truex is running us back down again, though. We'll have to see how that's going to work out for us. Definitely hanging right in there. Four laps in. Big battle for third back there, 3 wide. Keselowski on the top, Kurt Busch in the middle, and Harvick trying to squeeze under him to the bottom, and they're still 3 wide off of turn number 2. Martin Truex Jr. going to try the top side of the racetrack now. Holden Mason, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Juan Luca. Yeah, I called you out right before the start of the race, but I think I had a problem with the screen freezing on us, so. Again, thanks for you joining as well. Oh boy. Here comes Truex. We led the lap at the line. Martin Truex Jr. down to the bottom of the track, and now we're pinched along the top. It'll give us a little bit better straightaway speed if we can hold the corner, but we couldn't. Off the wall, up in turn 2. Truex to the lead. And Truex now to the top side of the track. Seems like that might be his more preferred line in the early going of this race. And Truex will lead his first lap of the race. So we finally lost the lead for the first time today, but how long will it be before we're able to try and fight right back for it? I think we could have held closer behind him if we didn't hit the wall off of turn 2, but I'm not that great at running a little bit higher line here at Dover. I usually try to stick right around the bottom of the racetrack, although the outside is an option, as you see right there for Truex. It does work around here if you can hold your line, of course, but look at how loose we got that time off of turn number 2. That was a big moment. Cost us a lot of time down the back straightaway, and look at Eric Almirola now closing the gap from third. Almirola was eliminated in the last round of the playoffs in the round of 16, but he's off to a solid start here today, looking for redemption, even though he can't win. He still wants to finish the season off strong. Joey Logano in 5th. Also eliminated in the opening round of the playoffs. He was the last driver, or sorry, the first driver to miss the cut line. So he's currently 13th in points. He missed by 13 points. So trying to close the gap on Martin Truex Jr. now. Jamie, how's it going? Thanks for joining the stream. Ran down Truex for a little bit, and we got a little shaky through turns 1 and 2 again. Here comes Almirola. He definitely has a fast car. Looking for second off the wall. A little bit of a brush there. Didn't think that was going to happen, but it did. And now Almirola trying to take over the second position. Barely going to clear us off the exit of the corner. And now a crossover by Blaney back to the inside of the racetrack. And meanwhile, even though we're battling hard for second, we are closing in on the leader, Truex. Barely stayed off of one another through turns 3 and 4. And now Truex down to the bottom of the track to block. I think Almirola's got a little faster car than he does, but we have just cleared Eric for second once again. Now to the inside of the 19 of Truex, who's caught behind the first lap car of the race, Brendan Gaughan. Crossover move now by Truex off of turn number 4. At the line, Truex is barely going to lead the lap and hold on to the lead, and now he's got the advantage into turns 1 and 2 on us. Diamond Jeff, welcome. Trying to beat Eric Almirola into the corner, hold the inside lane as best we can. Truex caught McMurray in a bad spot as we try to duck underneath the 19 again for the lead, washing up the track a little bit. And boy, DiBenedetto has really fell back. 3 wide off the exit of the corner. Truex gets pitched. Blaney back to the lead again into 3. And we should be able to hold it this time and officially take the lead at the start-finish line as we do. DiBenedetto made it to the playoffs with a win at the Roval in the last race. Truex tries to fight for the lead again. Barely going to be able to squeeze under Cody Ware. Truex has a big run. He is there. At the line, Truex barely going to lead the lap. Another lead change. Nope, no wrecks so far in the early going of this one. We do have cautions on. We're only 17 laps into the race as we battle hard for the lead. Almirola still within a second, and now Kurt Busch, who is in 4th, is closing in on Almirola. He's within a second of the lead. And we take the lead right back again that lap on Martin Truex Jr. as we have to go to the outside to get around Bubba Wallace. Crisscrossing now to get to the inside of Landon Castle. Ooh, a little bit of a early dive into turn 3, but we're all right. Top three still within a second. Kurt Busch losing pace a little bit. He's about a second and a half off the lead now, and a big gap from 4th to 5th because Logano is about 3 seconds behind where Kurt Busch is if he wants to gain another spot anytime soon. So there are going to be pit stops here in this opening stage of the race. We're going to have to pit at some point in time before the end of the stage. Burn your tires off pretty good here at Dover. Being a track on concrete. Of course, stated in previous concrete racetrack talks, including yesterday when we ran Dover in the toughest season in NASCAR video game history. We had, or no, maybe that was 2 days. Yeah, that was 2 days ago already, man. But anyway, yeah, Dover, usually harsh on tires, as most concrete racetracks are. Concrete wears the tires out a little bit more than the asphalt does. So we'll have to keep an eye on that right front throughout the course of the day, and even the right rear for that matter, because we're pretty loose. So we're going to burn up the right rear as well. But I don't think we're quite going to burn it up as much as the right front, at least in this opening run of the race. Andrew, welcome. Thanks for joining in here this morning. First of 2 races on a doubleheader because we could not get this race in last night. It was postponed until this morning. So had audio and mic troubles last night. Got another set of headphones. We're good to go. And we will make up the Talladega race later today as well. That race will be at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Talladega usually puts on a pretty good show, especially for the channel. We usually get a lot of viewers for those super speedway races, so hoping for a pretty good day. No, it did not pass the 38 car yet. David Reagan actually has a good car. He qualified in 8th, I believe, 7th or 8th. He was inside the top 10. So he's going to have a pretty solid day, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still in the back half of the top 10, to be completely honest. We're currently about to complete the 25th lap at the line this time. So we got 95 to go in stage 1. Again, still early in the race, but we'll just have to see how this is going to work. Trying to stay off the 41 of Suarez. We almost made contact. We had to check out of the gas because we about hit the wall off of turn 2 as well. That time I believe we made a little bit of contact. We're just really loose when we try to pass cars on the outside. The car wants to duck to the inside. It's really hard to stay off of another car with the kind of handling that we're having. But it's good enough to drive at least for now, so not going to worry about tightening it on pit road at all. Matt DiBenedetto about to go 2 laps down. Not a good start to his round of 12 in the playoffs. Remember, he was 20 points back at the cut line going into the Roval. Got a stage win, finished 2nd in stage 2, and he ended up winning the race. So a big point stay. Even if he didn't win, he advanced, if I remember right, by about 10 points. So he would have still made it on points even if he didn't get the victory, but the win does give him an extra 5 playoff points plus stage win, like I said. So 6 extra playoff points after the last race in the Charlotte Roval for DiBenedetto entering this round. That could help him out a ton. He's now got 2 wins on the season. But again, running 38th, if he only scores 1 point today, that is going to hurt immensely. And he's going to have a solid run at Talladega later today. Lapping quite a few cars in the early going into the race as well as we go to the outside of Stenhouse. He's currently in 19th. You see 3 wide with the lap traffic up ahead as well. Kyle Larson not too far ahead of us in 18th. Easily going to pass him. Look at that cluster of lap traffic up ahead. Still 3 wide. See David Reagan, Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace in the mix up there. Landon Castle's already 1 lap down. Matt Tifft is in the mix as well. This is going to get interesting off of turn 2. Barely skimmed the wall. We're all right. Stuck behind Bubba Wallace now. Nowhere to go. We got about a 4 to 4.5 second lead on Almirola, so we've got time to give. Don't want to give a lot of it up, but we're at the point in the race where we are faster than everybody behind us. And we're going to barely clear the 20 off of turn 2, now to the inside of David Reagan, who's having a solid run in 16th. Matt Tifft, even better run. Got 2 Furniture Road cars running in the top 16 as Matt Tifft is last car in the lead lap for the moment in 15th place. As we'll get around him as well. Get on by Parker Kligerman. It looks like Kyle Busch will be the next driver in the lead lap. We'll have to try and catch and put a lap down. Halfway through the tire run right now, when we're not quite halfway through the field run, but that's okay. Again, we only need to make 1 pit stop in this stage. If we want to split it in half, 60 and 60, we can do that. Should be able to do it no problem as well. Kyle Busch didn't have the greatest of opening rounds of the playoffs, but with him finishing second in the regular season point standings, he had 9 extra playoff points for that, as well as a few wins on the season as well. But Kyle Busch, not having a Kyle Busch day here at Dover. Start things off. Last thing you need is to have a good points day in Dover. Sideways, into the wall. Trying to correct it. That's probably going to be the first caution of the day. Dove it into turn 3 a little too deep. And around we went. Got the left side tires on the black down there on the apron. And around we went into the outside wall. Luckily, there's not many drivers on the lead lap. Just 14 of them. Kyle Busch will luck out. He'll remain on the lead lap, and Matt Tifft will get the free pass in 15th. So that'll give Eric Almirola the lead. A big mistake in the early going of this race. That's going to be strike 1 for us in the early going. That's the last thing we need in a playoff race. So we'll have to restart back in the 14th position now. Nobody pit at the stage break there, so everybody still has to pit to the end of this race, at least of the lead lap cars. 81 laps to go. That's probably why nobody pit. We're still outside the pit window. And the green flag is back in the air once again. To the outside, taking it 3 wide for the moment. Now down to the bottom. We've got the faster car in the field right now. We didn't take tires, didn't want to take that advantage because we wrecked. It would be unfair. We have a faster car as it is anyway with the damage repairs. We slide through the middle now. Elliott on the bottom. We're going to clear Harvick on the top side. Denny Hamlin, Bowman around us. A lot of playoff drivers inside the top 10 in the early going of this race. Almirola looking to the inside of Truex for the lead. Truex has been great on the restart so far. He got to the lead quickly as Almirola stays to the inside. We got a big run off the top. Nowhere to go for us right now. So we're kind of boxed in when trying to look for the lead. And now Kurt Busch going for second on Truex as well. Up the middle now. 3 wide for second. And a dive bomb for the lead underneath Almirola. A nice slide job. Pulled that one off about perfectly, and we're back in front once again here at Dover. Kurt Busch going for second. He's going to clear Almirola down the front straightaway. Highest running position of the race so far for Kurt Busch. No drivers out of the race, and the lone caution was on us. for spinning in turns 3 and 4. We just dove way too deep into the corner all of a sudden, and just a simple mistake like that, left side's barely hitting the apron, turns us right around, especially with as loose of a car as we have. You got to expect that's the main reason why that had happened. Currently have 9 people watching. Again, thanks for everybody. Yeah, again, sorry for the laggy stream. Seems like it's a lot worse today than what it usually is. Kind of noticed that in the career mode episode earlier this morning. Really nothing I could do about it though at this point. Hopefully it's better for the rest of the race. And hopefully we have 0 issues later today at Talladega. So all these drivers are putting a lap down right now. We're already a lap down. We have 15 drivers currently on the lead lap, with Matt Tifft after getting the free pass. He had to restart at the rear of the field after the caution. Got our biggest lead of the race now, as we have about an 8-second lead on Kurt Busch, and he's got about a half-second advantage, back to Eric Almirola behind him. Brendan gone, Michael McDowell to the inside. Probably not the wisest move to go to the top 3 wide, but we got it to stick nevertheless. And it worked out for us that time. Benedetto has moved up 1 spot. He's up to 37th now, but that is still not going to cut it. He's got to at least somehow find his way to the top 20. It's going to be tough because he's about to go 3 laps down already in this race. Would have thought the Benedetto would have been better here. He's usually not that bad at Dover. He is not having a great run today. Putting himself in a high pressure situation for when we go to Dover. Or sorry, when we exit Dover and go to Talladega. We're going to put Matt Tifft a lap down once again, so right back to 14 drivers on the lead lap, but we still got quite a ways before we catch the next driver for position, wherever he might be ahead of us. There's Clinton Boyer in 14th. Man, he's really fading back. His tires are probably falling off a lot worse than anybody else this stage in the run. So now you kind of wonder, are we going to have green flag pit stops? Or are we going to get another caution before the end of the stage and everybody will pit then? It'll be interesting to see. King, how's it going? Welcome to the race here at Dover. Man, a little loose again in 3 and 4. Not the first time we've seen that today, and probably won't be the last. But we do have about a 12.5-second lead on Kurt Busch. Yep, the schedule for today, we've got this race that was supposed to be ran last night had an audio problem, so unfortunately that was not resolved, and we were forced to have to run this race here this morning. But the Talladega race will still be on for later today, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So right front tire is getting pretty worn out at this point, down to 20%. Yeah, it's going to be close to whether or not we can actually get to the end of the fuel run. I hope we can. That would give us a good measurement for how many laps we can actually run. We did have 3 caution laps. So if you take that out of play, realistically, we've ran about 59 laps into this run so far. So we got really loose into turn 3 that time. So we try to catch up to Chase Elliott. Kevin Harvick in 9th. He'll go a lap down, so now only 8 drivers on the lead lap. So keep an eye on the right front tire, making sure we can get to the end of the stage. Got more heavy lap traffic just up ahead. They were just 3 wide. Looks like Brad Keselowski's up there. Joey Logano. I believe Truex perhaps is up there. So probably the 6th, 7th, and 8th drivers on the racetrack if I had to guess. So Denny Hamlin's now in the top 5, and I see Denny Hamlin up there as well. In the 5th spot. Roughly 10 more laps at the most before we have to hit pit road. It'll be our first green flag stop of the race. Big dive to the bottom, 3 wide to get around Truex and Keselowski. Now McDowell's holding up Logano as well. Got around all 3 of them in one corner. Amazing. Got a very, very fast car for today's race. We've led a lot of laps in the early going. Martin Truex Jr. led some laps, and I think Eric Almirola led a couple laps in this race as well. So we've had 3 different leaders. Bowman, Hamlin now right in front of us, taking it all the way to the top side. About went 4 wide. By the time we got there, it was 3 wide on the top. Got it to stick, and now we're kind of stuck behind Ty Dillon in the 13, so we'll have to run the top again. Ducking to the inside of Bowman. Now on Hamlin. We're almost to the end of the fuel run. Bounced it off the wall slightly off of turn 4. Didn't hurt the car too much. Eric Almirola not too far ahead of us. Probably not going to catch Kurt Busch before we have to hit pit road, but there is a good chance we can catch Almirola. Still got 51 to go here in stage 1. Gonna pass Almirola that time. Nice little slide job. Here he comes with the crossover, looking up the middle, but gets out of the gas. Realize that gap closed quickly in between us and Suarez. It was a lap car that got in the way. $50 to go in the stage. Again, we had 3 laps of caution. So we got to factor that into how many laps we can actually run on a full tank of fuel. And we have caught Kurt Busch after all here. Heavy lap traffic has helped us close the gap pretty quick. And a chance to lap the field ahead of time. Very tight. Slight contact with a 43 of Bubba Wallace. The lane closed. We kind of had to check up out of the gas. Luckily, it was minimal contact at best as we close the gap again on Kurt Busch. Trying to put him a lap down before we hit pit road. And it looks like we are going to put him a lap down into turn 1. So we have lapped the field, but we have to hit pit road for green flag pit stops. Everybody will have to cycle on in. We're going to take a 4-tire stop here. We're going to stay out at least 1 more lap as we push up the track. Right in front of the 36 of Tift. We're all right, though. So we're going to hit pit road this time. We're going to make it to the end of the fuel run, despite the tires being pretty worn out. Oh, sputtering on gas now all of a sudden going into turn 3. Shot the car up the track for a moment. Now we got to make sure we hit pit road, and we can't speed, and we did. Speeding penalty onto pit road, trying to lock it down as we almost missed the pits. Luckily, we didn't miss the pits because we were already sputtering on gas, but we have to sacrifice with the speeding penalty. We were nowhere close. We were 6 miles per hour over the limit. You see Almirola and Kurt Busch pit a lap prior. So this is going to cost us a lot of time on the racetrack. So we're going to make it to our pit box after all, but we are going to be on pit road a long time, as that's going to cost us. So all that time we gained on the track is probably going to be lost at this point. Man, all these guys beating us off of the pits now. We were already way ahead of a lot of guys getting their lap back. Harvick even, he was back in 9th. We're still going to come out as the race leader, but we lost a lot of time. And a lot of guys got their laps back here. So try to get back up to speed at Dover. Harvick in 10th, so we got about 10 drivers at least on the lead lap. That's what it looks like right now. Still 45 laps to go in stage 1. Got about a 12-second lead now on Kurt Busch, and he has gapped Eric Almirola by about 4 seconds right now. And Harvick's back up to 9th. It looked like we had an extra driver stay out a little bit longer. So we are cycling through. Green flag stops, barely kept it off of the 4 of Harvick as we washed up the track again. That was a close call. And look at how loose this car is driving, even with the fresh tires. Should have a little bit more grip, you would think. Joey Gase having a solid run in 18th right now, but I think that's because he has not pit yet. Or he had pit under the caution, but again, they're not going to be able to make it to the end of the stage even after pitting under the caution, so they'll likely have to pit at some point in time. Harvick caught behind Cody Ware, and we'll put Harvick a lap down into turn 3. Trying to hold the line, but Harvick trying to cross us back over to the inside. Battling with Harvick is allowing Kurt Busch to close the gap slightly. He went from 12.5 back to about 11.5 back. So he's gained a second on us in the last couple laps, but again, we've got a big enough lead. I think we should be all right. Now we'll get around Kevin Harvick. Look at how loose that got off of turn 4 that time. So it looks like Daniel Suarez is up in smoke on pit road, but luckily he was able to get to pit road and we stay green. We did win the Dover race earlier in the season, but it was a thriller. We had a late race caution with a couple late race cautions really, with under 20 laps to go. Everybody hit pit road, and because we don't have the fastest car in the short run, we were holding on for dear life, trading the lead back and forth with about 4 guys. We ended up making a last lap pass for the win on Kyle Busch, if I remember correctly. So if we have a race like that here today at Dover, it'll be well worth staying to the very finish. But unlike the first race, we've got playoff drama added into this one. Get on by Parker Kligerman. Tift in 15th, about to go another lap down. He's caught behind Ryan Truex off the exit of 4. Very close to the end of stage 1. And we're going to try to put as many drivers a lap down as we can. Be interesting to see how many drivers we'll have on the lead lap when we start stage 2. And obviously that's if we stay green to the end of the stage as well. So we just passed Martin Truex Jr. into turn 1. He was caught behind his affiliated teammate in the 95 for Levine Family Racing, Matt DiBenedetto. So DiBenedetto by far is the worst running playoff driver. Suarez is on pit road as well. He made the playoffs, but he was eliminated in the last round. In the round of 16. Suarez is the only driver to DNF in this race to this point as well. Still just a lone caution. If we didn't make that mistake, we wouldn't have had a caution up to this point. That's saying something for Dover. Very difficult track to maneuver around. Reach quite high speeds for such a confined, tight space. Despite how wide the track looks, pretty narrow on the straightaways. Especially off the exit of the corners, you see guys get pinched off a lot. Cody Ware in 20th. Sliding up almost into the wall off of turn 4. Did a great job keeping it off that time. It's like Alex Bowman, Joey Logano are not too far ahead either in 5th and 6th. Periodically seeing a couple non-playoff drivers, or at least ones that were eliminated last round, running inside the top 5 of Logano and Almirola today. Almirola's been inside the top 5 pretty much all day, and Hamlin now up to 3rd. Again, all these playoff drivers getting to the end of these stages, fighting for every last point possible as we just put Bowman a lap down now. It'll be interesting to see who's going to get the free pass at the end of the stage too. If it will end up being a playoff driver or a non-playoff driver. Depending on how many go a lap down, we only have 30 laps left. So even with a pit road speeding penalty, worst thing that could have happened is us missing pit road under that green flag stop, which we almost did. I will gladly take the speeding penalty, because if we would have missed the pits, that would have been terrible, because we were already kind of sputtering on gas going into turn 3. We would another lap, even though Dover is what I consider a short track, because it's only a mile in length, but still, we would not have been able to make it all the way around, so that would have been very costly. Could have easily have put us a couple laps down. One of the more difficult pit roads to get onto in the first place. Even though we weren't carrying a very high rated speed into there, we still sped. Whoa, wow, that was a big hop off of turn 4. And we're just going to let those two guys get around us. Logano and Byron, we'll get them right back, but gotta watch out for that. Remember, we wrecked once in the early going of the race, roughly 50 laps in. We go up the middle 3 wide on Byron, trying to put Logano a lap down again. He'd only be 1 lap down, but barely going to clear him before we can get underneath the 95 and the 51. Joey peeking his nose in there again, but can't quite stay to the inside off the exit of the corner. Benedetto's slowly moving up through the field. He's up to 30th. He was back to 38th at the start of the race. Qualified inside the top 20. Sneaker Header 51, welcome to the stream. Thanks. Yeah, we're doing a very, very good job here. We're able to hang with the leaders even on the short run, so that's saying something with this race car. And the longer the run goes, we only get faster and faster. Almost to the end of stage 1, though. We got a 24. Or I should say we got 24 laps until we get to that point. David Reagan, Kyle Busch. A lot of playoff drivers that are multiple laps down here in this race that are running outside the top 10. That includes Kyle Busch in 13th, at least 2 laps down now. "19-second advantage on Kurt. Top 4 still in the lead lap. Almirola not too much further ahead of us, as well as Denny Hamlin, because you can see Hamlin's caught behind a lap car up there as well. We are using the controller for this race today. I think we can lap Almirola and Hamlin for sure. Honestly, we might be able to catch Kurt Busch. We still have 21 to go. Not only we're maxing out on points in this stage to start the round of 12, but that would give us a playoff point, assuming we can make it to the round of 8, which I think we should on points. Trust myself with these tracks, even though Talladega's going to be the next race later today. I think we should be all right. Now we have a caution. That'll give Almirola the free pass. That'll bunch everybody back up. It looks like BJ McLeod went for a spin in turns 1 and 2. So that's our second caution of the race today. And the big lead has now vanished. And the top 3 will all restart towards the front of the field. But again, I think we can hold our own. We seem to be the fastest car on the track at the timing of the caution. We'll stay out of the pits. You know what? Actually, we'll pit. No, never mind. We'll stay out. I thought about pitting there, but we'll just keep the track position just in case. So we got less than 20 to go. Green flag back in the air in stage number 1 after the second caution of the race. We have nailed our restarts all day today, including that one, getting through the shifts pretty well. Got 17 laps left. The big jump on Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch, who are side by side for second behind us. And Almirola, of course, after getting the free pass, will put Logano, the first driver, lap down. So that's going to be a heck of a battle back there for 5th to see who will get the free pass at the end of the stage. We'll alternate through the cameras for the first time today here towards the end of stage number 1. We have a little bit of open traffic here. We might catch lap cars before the end of the stage. It'll be close, but it's definitely a possibility. Yeah, quickly out to 3-second lead. Hamlin, though, because of that caution, was able to get around Kurt Busch on the restart as he tries to hold on for second. That extra stage point, and Martin Truex Jr. has now peaked his way back into the top 5 to 5th. So Truex is currently the first driver 1 lap down as he tries to get the free pass. That'd be huge for him with him being a playoff driver. So you'll definitely see all the drivers on the lead lap pit at the end of the stage, it'll be interesting to see if any of the drivers one lap down would stay out with the lead lap cars pitting, because that would give them the wave around and they could hope for maybe a quick yellow to stay on the lead lap in this one, and then they can pit under the caution. So that'll be interesting to see at the end of the stage as well, if that'll happen or not. Ten laps to go in stage one. Just 10 more miles. Be cool to get another Miles to Monster trophy again and try to sweep the Dover races this season. A little snappy there through turns 3 and 4. We're all right, able to stay in the gas and drive right out of it. Just hoping we stay green to the end of the stage from this point, so we can nab this playoff point. Already an 8-second lead. Kurt Busch has jumped back up to second now on Denny Hamlin with 6 laps to go. Once everybody will get fresh tires at the end of the stage, that'll at least even the playing field. If not, they will be faster than us on the restart when we start stage number 2. So we'll hopefully try not to fall too far behind. We were able to hang with them the first time despite being barely off the lead, and now we have a caution again at the end of the stage, and we got some cars hitting pit road. That is going to be a big moment in this race. That'll give Truex the free pass now. And I think we're only going to have 1 lap to go, maybe 2. When we go green, this is going to be a heck of a battle to the end of the stage. Now you just wonder if you pit or stay out. I think we're going to try to stay out, restart in the lead, and pit at the end of the stage break, because looks like Denny Hamlin's going to stay out. So that means the top 2 are on older tires, and you got the next 2 behind us of Kurt Busch and Almirola on fresh tires, trying to fight for the stage win. Here we go. This is going to be interesting, trying to hold on older tires. We've nailed the restarts, and we nailed another one. 2 laps to go in stage number 1. Kurt Busch quickly trying to get to the inside, but he cannot do it. Hamlin blocking off. That's going to help us a little bit through turns 1 and 2, but now Almirola coming on the top. Here he comes. Will he get there? Will he have enough time? We are going to make this car wide at the end of stage 1. 1 lap to go. White flag in the air. This is going to be a battle. Almirola right there, trying to hold on through turns 1 and 2. Sliding up the track. Almirola right behind us. He's got 1 final shot. Looking to the outside as we try to take the bottom off of turn 4. Here comes Almirola. Can't get there. Blocking him off barely at the line. Ryan Blaney wins stage 1 at the Monster Mile, but not by a lot. Another lap. I think either Almirola or Kurt Busch would have had us, if not both. Hamlin held him off just enough on the opening lap of the restart that we were able to take the finish there with the green-white checker. So now me and Hamlin are going to hit pit road. Chase Elliott will get the free pass in 6th. he'll be back on the lead lap for all you Elliott fans out there watching, and we've got some guys staying out as well as pitting that our laps down. That's not going to matter. So they're not going to be able to roll of staying out. So it ended up being a pretty close finish to the end of the stage. A lot closer than I would have liked it to be, but hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we're going to buckle up for stage number 2. Green flag back in the air once again, but now because we're restarting on the outside, we're just kind of stuck 3 wide now up the middle. And we're going to find our way to the lead again on Almirola and Kurt Busch. Only 2 lap pressure tires, not really going to do much. Oh boy! Really big moment. Truex about turns us. And now into the side of the 10. And we're 3 wide for the lead for a moment. Truex to the lead. We tried to go down and block him though, so at the same time, he had every right to almost hook us there because of throwing the block that far down the back straightaway. But nevertheless, that's going to cost us a couple spots here, all the way back to 5th already. Bowman currently in the free pass spot, but now Keselowski going to try to get under him. So out of every restart so far, we nailed it right away, but that was probably our worst restart of the race, as Kurt Busch is now leading laps for the first time today at Dover. Sorry, Truex is leading, my bad. Truex has led already. Almirola going for second on Denny Hamlin. Looks like he's got him. Look at that, 3 wide up there now for 3rd. Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, as Busch just cleared Denny, but Denny almost got into the side of the 2 car. And Keselowski is a lap down, trying to hold on to the free pass spot, but he's got Bowman closing in on him. 3 wide off the exit of turn 4. Bowman had to check up as he about got pinched in between the 12 and the 11. We're able to get around him at least, but that's not for position as we currently stay in 5th. The end of stage 1 made this race a whole lot more interesting, getting a couple of late cautions. Hamlin thought about taking it 3 wide again to the bottom. He'll stay right behind the 2 and maybe try to follow him past Kurt Busch. Eric Almirola has taken the race lead away from Truex, so Almirola is leading laps once again today. Who knows, maybe we'll have a non-playoff driver get the win. Almirola looks like he's got one of the faster cars in the field. So we're going for 4th now on Kurt Busch. Couldn't get him that time. He goes back to the middle now, actually, as Hamlin went to the top. This is going to get tight. 3 wide up the exit of turn 2. Hamlin got a heck of a run, though, off the top side of the track. Kurt moves up to the top side again, and Hamlin goes back down to the bottom. We're going to clear Kurt Busch for 4th off of turn number 4. Well over 100 laps in. Now we try to pass Denny Hamlin. We'll go for it to the inside into turn 3. Nice little side draft right away. Slide job. We're going to pull up in front of him. Denny with a crossover move to the inside. He tags us. Up the hill we go, and Denny Hamlin back to 3rd. Yeah, very close to almost getting dumped into the outside wall off of 4. Remember, we wrecked once earlier, so that was strike 1 on us. We have a 3-strike rule. We wrecked 3 times. We have to DNF ourselves because there are no DNFs in this game as it is, so... Here we go. Hamlin still looking strong. So we go to the inside again, into turn 3, tight angle. Denny not giving us a lot of room. Keselowski might be holding us up, both right in front of us as we try to stay to the inside. A little contact with Denny again, but he did that to us earlier. And now an accidental contact as we drove it in too deep again into turn 1. And Hamlin's going to be able to clear the 2 of Keselowski in the process. Denny just not giving us a lot of room to get under him here. Really trying to pinch us on the inside of the track. We stay alongside of him though, down the front straightaway. All clear. Blaney is back to 3rd again, about a source of a race. And remember, we did wreck once about 50 laps in, so we got to kind of be careful from this point on. Yeah, sorry for that. The game itself isn't freezing. It's the stream. Usually I want to say it's the lag with the PlayStation 4 service, but I'm almost thinking it's YouTube in general. Because it's not... If it was the service, I think the game would actually be kind of like glitching out on me a little bit while I'm playing it, and that's not the case. It's just literally the video that keeps kind of freezing up, so... Yeah, I just have to work with it, I guess, for now. I'll try emailing YouTube after this game to see if they can do anything about it. Not sure if they can or not, but don't want this to happen later today in the Talladega race, that's for sure. To the outside of Truex for second, as we're just less than a second off the lead of Almirola. Driving it in pretty deep. We're going to clear the 19 off the exit of turn 4, barely, but we got it done. Nice pass around the outside. So again, we're trying our best here. Closing the gap on Almirola for the lead, now less than a half a second back. We have not led a lap yet in stage 2. Almirola stuck behind Austin Dillon. So that was going to end up coming up. So we go to the outside now as we try to split the 3 of Dillon. 3 wide off of turn number 2. It works out better for us though, because we're able to nab the lead on the 10 as he tries to get us back now. But he's not going to have a shot to. At least not for the moment. So we've led the last couple laps now. We have regained the lead, and it's our chance once again, that point of the run here at Dover today, where we're going to try to pull away and put as many cars a lap down. We had quite a few guys who almost made the same mistake we did earlier. We were able to hold on to it that time. Had to give out the gas a little more, but luckily we were able to catch ourselves. Yeah, back at stage 1, going to try to do the same thing we did over the course of that stage, lap as many cars as possible. And hopefully we stay green for our sake. That'll help us out quite a bit, because, again, we had lapped quite a few cars last time. And then there was a pit road speeding penalty that gave a lot of them a lap back. Then we were trying to put them a lap down again. But then we had a couple cautions right at the end of the stage, and we were barely able to hold on for the stage win on that green-white checker 2-lap shootout. To nab the playoff point, washing up the track again, right in front of Larson. Luckily we had him cleared. Carson really steps out on us from time to time, especially if we get really close to that apron there down on the black. Seen that multiple times today. Benedetto, it's going to be tough for him to break inside the top 30 today. I don't think we've seen that since the start of the race because he qualified inside the top 30. Plus a couple guys started at the rear of the field, but yeah, Benedetto, for the most part, been outside the top 30 all day. It's been a rough one for him to start the round of 12 after coming off of a win at the Roval. You would have thought he could have had more momentum, but it's just not the case. So the 3 stages today are going to be split 120, 120, and 160. So the final stage will be the longest, 160 laps. Obviously, like in stage 1, we'll have to pit at some point in time before the end of this stage. Not quite at the edge of the fuel window yet, but we are getting closer to it. We're going to have to take at least 1 pit stop in the final stage, maybe 2. We're going to be right on the edge of being able to make it on 1 stop. So that'll be interesting to see how that's going to be able to work out. Boyer about took it 3 wide off the exit of the corner. Oh, big run coming now. Daniel Hemrick right in our way. Sliding up the middle. Wow, we made that work. About as clean as we could. To split right up the middle between Daniel Hemrick and Clinton Boyer to put him another lap down. For both of them. Just slicing and dicing through the lap traffic, about a 7-second lead on Almirola. Kurt Busch is falling all the way back to 5th, and Martin Truex Jr. not too far behind Almirola for 2nd. It's within a couple tenths, a couple car lengths. Not letting him get away. So Chase Elliott is the last driver on the lead lap. He's not too far ahead of us. He got the free pass under the caution and had to restart at the rear of the field, but he's not working his way through the lap traffic nearly as well as he probably wanted to, as we are catching him pretty quick. Oh, contact now with McLeod. So he exited turn 2. Tyler Reddick, he's still hanging out inside the top 10 as well. Remember, he was running up towards the front early. Had a great start to the race. He qualified 3rd. Slipping back slowly throughout the course of the race, but he's still in the top 10 for now. But he is also at least 2 laps off the lead as we just put Chase Elliott a lap down again. So Elliott's now the first driver 1 lap down in 6th, but he's got quite a big gap ahead of 7th. But at the same time, we were catching up pretty close to Kurt Busch. It's not too far behind us. Kurt finished 3rd back in stage number 1. Yeah, Kurt's caught behind to Benedetto. We'll get to him pretty quick. So Kurt Busch is now 1 lap down, and he's in the free pass spot, and he's got quite a big gap on Chase Elliott too. So as long as he doesn't keep slipping back further and further, Maybe he'll get the free pass if we get a caution. Had a decent amount of them. 3 cautions for the first stage. Not a lot, but it wasn't a little. We're kind of all clustered within the final 70 laps too in that stage. All right, Andrew, no problem. And Truex has hung around with Almirola for a while, but he's still a couple tenths back. Kyle Larson, Joey Gase, just past both of them. Get a little less than 30 laps before we hit green flag pit stops. Once again in this one. Wow, Hamlin just went a lap down too right there. He got caught behind Newman just long enough. He's battling with Keselowski for a little bit too. Now Brad, even in 7th place, is 2 laps down. It's going to be tough to overcome just to get back on the lead lap alone. Not impossible. Still got enough laps left in this race. We're almost halfway done. Oh, up into the wall. Off of turn 4, another big slide. Seen that multiple times today. They take care of the right front, and that's not going to help it. Martin Truex Jr. has finally started to slip back from Almirola. He's about 2.5 seconds behind him, but we are catching up both to Truex and Almirola. In fact, Truex is in danger of going a lap down here within a lap or 2. You can see the 10 car way off in the distance, but he's not extremely close to us yet. But I'm sure he will be in about another 5 laps or so. Truex, for the moment, caught behind Logano as we go to the outside. Now up the middle, Joey went to the top. And Martin Truex Jr. is now a lap down in this one. Big slide. Second place driver Almirola just ahead of us. To the outside, going into turn one, trying to lap the field. This point in the run. And we will. Oh, BJ McLeod pulled right in front of us. And now we're caught, and Almirola might be able to get us back again. 4 wide going into turn one. How did we make that happen? And where did that even come from? Back up the middle. Oh, man, into the back of Joey Case now, too. Tried to squeeze into a hole that just closed up too quickly. Almirola fighting for the lead lap. Hoping for a caution immediately. Not going to get it. He's a lap down again. But we got another cluster of lap cars, about 4 of them, not too far ahead of us. Maybe he can get us back. Right front tire wearing out pretty good here. It's down to 20%. Just past halfway through stage number 2. 58 to go yet. Yeah, not a lot of room to get underneath Ryan Truex there. To wait till the exit of the corner, get under him now down the straightaway. Tell you what, with a lot of playoff drivers running outside the top 10 today, that's going to make for an interesting Talladega race later. You're going to see guys scrambling for points. They can't work their way back into the top 10, at least today. Because a lot of them aren't going to get stage points even as well, because they've been outside the top 10 all day, like Kyle Busch and Eric Jones, Matt DiBenedetto, Clint Boyer. That's 4 of the 12 drivers already that have not had great days. Oh, brush off the wall again. Within 10 laps of hitting pit road. Again, we'll try to stretch it as long as we can like we did last time. We just got to make sure we don't speed onto pit road. But again, it's a tough pit road to get onto. We almost missed it first time. We'll have to check up a little bit sooner. Make sure we can get on this time and don't speed. Don't want to give these guys their laps back any sooner without them having to fight for it. We do know we have another stage break coming, so at some point in time we will have at least, if we don't get another caution by the end of this stage, we'll have at least one driver take the free pass. Get back onto the lead lap before we start stage number 2. Really solid. Oh man, couldn't jump down to the inside of McLeod there too. That's about the 3rd time we've done that this run with a slower lap car. That was already running towards the rear of the field. Look at that, another 3 wide off the exit of turn 2 back there. Kevin Harvick is able to blow on by Austin Dillon and BJ McLeod. Now within 5 laps of hitting pit road. At 48 laps to go in stage 2. We made it 73 laps on the last run before we had to pit. And that is not counting the caution laps. Really, we made it 70 to lap 76, but we have already made it longer on this fuel run than what we did on the last fuel run. Oh no, never mind, because we had caution laps with the stage break here, I guess, so never mind. It looks like we'll probably be about the same then. I was gonna say, I was wondering how we were saving 3 laps of fuel, but didn't really factor in the caution laps at the end of the stage. Such an enormous lead right now. The race is never over till it's over. We've seen that a lot of times on the channel. We'll stay out 1 more lap before we bring it on to pit road. Looks like Brad Keselowski's on pit road already. Truex, Almirola, so a lot of the leaders are pitting right now. We're going to pit this time by. So we have 45 laps to go now in stage number 1. Alright, no sign of sputtering that time. 35 miles an hour is the speed limit. And we got it down right to 35. We'll repair damage, 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel. And we'll be on our way, our 2nd green flag stop of the race and our 3rd pit stop total. We're going to repair a little bit of damage and off we go. Out of the pits, Denny Hamlin pit the same lap we did. He's on right now. We're going to come out obviously still with the race lead. We're not quite a lap ahead of everybody. Chase Elliott and Hamlin stayed out a little bit longer than everybody else. To get back up to speed, we'll lap them as they're back on pit road still. So once things cycle through, yeah, Harvick was on pit road also. So once things cycle through, Almirola should be in 2nd again. Yep. And Truex is back up to 3rd. Hamlin came out ahead of Chase Elliott, so Hamlin will be 5th. Elliott currently 6th. Boy, Kurt Busch lost a lot of time. A lot of time lost for Kurt Busch on pit road. Oh. Oh boy, really loose off of turns 1 and 2. So again, the battle for 2nd at this point is a battle for a free pass position for either at the end of the stage or whenever there is a caution. At whatever point in time that could happen. In the comment section down below, comment what your guys' favorite Dover race is that you can remember. Had a lot of classic moments happen here over the years, even in recent history. I was a Greg Biffle fan growing up, so I gotta say my favorite moment was when he had won here. I want to say back in 2012 it was. It was in the Chase. So he won the first two races of the Chase that year at New Hampshire and Dover, and pretty stoked. I thought he might have had a shot at the title that season. I believe he finished like 3rd or 4th that year, the overall point standings in the Chase, but couldn't get the job done. Chase Elliott had a nice win here a couple years ago in the playoffs too. Even Kyle Larson broke through with a win last year. Much needed win to advance him into the round of 8. It was the furthest he's ever been in the playoffs in his career, as well as Chip Ganassi as a whole. It's the furthest that Chip Ganassi has made it to the through the playoffs. About washed up right into the 34 of McDowell. Luckily we had him cleared. Almost at the end of the stage, so a lot more calm as far as the race goes here in stage 2 compared to what stage 1 was like, especially at the end. Just a huge lead on Almirola right now. We have not had a caution yet in stage 2, despite having 3 in the first stage in this race, so be interesting. There might be a pit strategy race here in stage number 3, a fuel strategy and fuel mileage race, because it's going to be interesting to see if we'll have to pit once or twice in that final stage. I think cautions are going to dictate whether we'll have to pit once or twice if we get cautions. But we're going to be right on the border for 160 laps on whether or not we can actually make it on one stop. We'll have some caution laps at the end of the stage, of course. Don't think we're going to be able to make it. It's probably going to be a 2-stop race. Because that's saying you could run 80 and 80. We've only been really able to run about 73 to 76 laps on a full tank of fuel, so I very well have. Two pit stops. Again, depends how much fuel we could save under the cautions. Speaking of caution, we get one right now, right at the end of this one. 29 laps to go in stage number 2. It's our first caution of the stage, and Almirola will get the free pass. So that means when we start the final stage of the race, he's going to be lined up right alongside of us. Welcome, Ravish. Thanks for joining the stream here today. I know you were looking forward to this race last night. Unfortunately, it could not happen. And the green flag is going to be in the air. 26 laps to go in stage number 2. Again, Almirola back on the lead lap with the caution, but he has to restart at the rear of the field. So hopefully for our sake we can go caution free to the end of the stage and not have to worry about a thing here. We are well past halfway through this race despite only being in stage 2 here at Dover. So by the end of the stage we'll have 240 laps complete of the 400. I believe Michael McDowell's on pit road right now, so McDowell probably brought out that second, or not second caution, but he was probably the second DNF of the race, joining Daniel Suarez, the two drivers that have so far been retired from today's action, but hopefully they can get redemption at Talladega later today. And 10-second lead. He had to restart at the rear of the field, and he's getting held up quite a bit. We should catch lap traffic by the end of the stage. Ideally, if we can catch Almirola again, that would be awesome. It would give us a huge lead to start the final stage. And we wouldn't really have to worry about him so much, at least at the start of stage number 3. Wow, already out to about a 15-second lead on Almirola. I mean, it's very well possible we might be able to catch him before the end of the stage, as long as we stay green. We try to max out on stage points today, getting all 20 of them to start the round of 12 in the playoffs, and add 2 extra playoff points if we make it to the round of 8. And obviously, hopefully we can go for the win and clinch ourselves into the round of 8 today. Be another 5 playoff points added onto the 2 that we might already get, assuming we win the race and the stage. About to approach lap traffic once again here today. We get to the inside of Ryan Truex, BJ McLeod. A lot of the back marker cars at the rear of the field. It looks like Matt Benedetto slipping back through the field once again. Seems to get a little better on the longer run. He's still 31st, I guess, but not a good start to the playoffs. Maybe he's going to need a couple DNFs with a little bit of luck, or just have a really solid run at Talladega later. He's going to want a shot to move to the round of 8. He won at Martinsville earlier this season, so You never know. If he can make it to the round of 8, he could possibly sweep Martinsville, and he's in the championship. But he's going to need a solid run these next 2 races if he can't win Talladega or Kansas. And honestly, I don't see him winning. We'll see. He's a good super speedway racer. Led the most laps in the Daytona 500 last season, 2019, while running that 95 car. Led some laps in the Talladega race as well. $11 laps to go now in stage 2. Got a 20-second lead. We are catching Almirola. It is going to be close. He's got a lot of open room in front of him, though. And we still got a lot of lap cars in between us. Contact with Austin Dillon. Drove it in a little too deep again into 3 and 4. Haven't done that much in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, we've done it quite a bit today. Random times sporadically throughout the course of the race. But I mean, really outside of that, we haven't done a bad job. Race pretty clean for the most part. Oh man, barely cleared Paul Menard. Menard's got a lot of damage to the front of his car. And 9 laps to go, only 2 more lap cars in between us and Almirola, and he will catch more lap cars too on top of it. Just 6 more laps to go in the stage. There's Eric Almirola just in front of us. He just cleared Daniel Hemrick now. We'll see. Almirola to the top. To the bottom we go. This is a big moment in the race. As we put him a lap down again. He could not get through the lap traffic well at the end of this stage. That is a big moment. We only have 5 laps to go. He could get us back if we get caught in heavy lap traffic, but I think we can get around these guys pretty easily. Up ahead of us. At least you would hope. 4 laps to go. Yeah, we're at the point now, if a caution comes out at this point before the end of the stage, it will end the stage. We will not be able to take the green flag once again until the start of stage number 3. So Eric Almirola will get the free pass at the end of stage 2. Only 1 caution this time around versus the 3 back in the opening stage of the race. 2 more miles, 2 laps to go now for Ryan Blaney to nab another playoff point. Another stage win on the race. Big points day for us. De Benedetto now back to 32nd. Oh, wow, we dove deep there to get under him that time. So he fades back even further. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go in stage 2. Off of turn 4 one more time. Ryan Blaney wins stage 2 at Dover. In a lot more dominating fashion than what we saw in stage 1 when we had a very close finish with Almirola in stage 1. Him and Kurt Busch were right on our back bumper on a 2-lap green-white checker restart, but got the job done much easier this time around. We've got 160 laps left in this race. A lot could change, but we're looking pretty good. Almirola will get the free pass. He'll restart at the rear of the field. And everybody will hit pit road for 4 fresh tires. 3/4 of a tank of fuel will be enough to fill it up for us. So nobody decided to take the risk with the wave around that time. The green flag will be back in the air. Third and final stage underway from Dover International Raceway. Who will get the Miles the Monster trophy here today and perhaps lock themselves into the round of 8 if a playoff driver is able to get the win? Stuck turns 3 and 4. Nice. Another great restart. Ooh, really loose off of turn 4. That's going to cost us a lot of time. So these lap cars directly behind us are likely going to be faster than us, despite us having the clean air. So they're going to try to get their laps back and then hope for a quick caution. That's what Truex is looking for as we slide big time off of turn number 4. Truex makes the pass. He's currently back on the lead lap. Kurt Busch is 2 laps down behind us. He's going to try to get it done. Left the bottom open just enough. There he goes. Kurt Busch now 1 lap down in 5th. He can't quite clear us yet. Now he does, getting into 3. Keselowski, Bowman right behind us. Hamlin, first driver, 1 lap down, stuck behind them currently. Alright, that was a funny quote there, Ravish. I know we put a lap on the field, but what I meant was it's going to cost us a lot of time because of these guys getting around us in case we do get a quick caution. Now Denny Hamlin has gotten himself back on the lead lap again. At least for now. Hey, I got to call this race right down the middle. That's the... Oh, little contact with Hamlin. It's the whole part of the commentating. Barely going to clear Hamlin getting into turn 3. Couldn't quite hit the bottom of the track. Denny going to try to fight right back, and he's going to get around us again. 151 laps to go. By far, we have definitely earned the win in this one. We've seen crazy things happen. We had a similar race like this back at Dover earlier this season. We had a couple cautions, like 3 of them in the last 40 laps or so. We had drivers hit pit road, and we were just trying to hold on for dear life at the finish. So we had a nice last lap pass for the win on Kyle Busch. Oh, I know, Ravish, I know. I didn't take it too seriously. Having a tough time trying to get around Kurt Busch right now. And in fact, Kurt's going to go underneath the two of Keselowski and try to get around him. That's a battle for fifth, which is also a battle to be the first driver one lap down, in case we do get the quick yellow. So it's a big battle as we try to get back underneath the two of Keselowski. Can't do it that time. So we wash up the racetrack. On fresh tire. Oh man, I think Hamlin and the 88 of Bowman made contact off of turn number 2. They went 3 wide. Hamlin trying to get around all 3 of them now. Yeah, stage 1, they're definitely faster on fresh tires. Same thing with stage 2. We hang right with them though. Because like right now you're seeing like Truex, one of the faster cars in the field all day, he's pulling away from us. But we're able to hang on like to roughly back half of the top 10, top 5. Like we don't fall too far behind. And it only really takes 15, 20 laps for us to become the fastest car on the track. It doesn't take overly long, especially for Dover only being a 1 mile racetrack. That's not long at all. Having a tough time hanging on to it there. Turns 3 and 4. Car was skatey all the way around the corner. And Almirola, look at him closing the gap. Restarted at the rear of the field. He's about 3.5 to 4 seconds off the lead. But from the rear of the field, he is about a half a straightaway behind us. He has caught us a ton, probably running his fastest laps of the race. And now they go 3 wide right in front of us, so even if we do catch him, there's nowhere to go. Jamie McMurray holding him up, and now we go. Oh man, almost got up the middle. The one about got into his teammate of McMurray there, or at least affiliated teammate. PJ McLeod pulling down in front of us. We're stuck right behind. These drivers that are battling with us right now just praying for a quick caution. Almirola now only 3 seconds, just less than 3 seconds off the lead. We haven't hit our marks so far at the start of stage 3. Again, DiBenedetto and Ryan Truex kind of holding everybody up off of turn 2. So we slide on in, and now Kurt trying to battle back on the outside. Contact off of turn 4. And now Hamlin caught up again. Kurt gonna get under us. Oh man, tried to stay off of him, and we did. He got a little loose. Checked up again. Hamlin all the way to the top side. We're probably gonna have to follow him with Landon Castle getting stuck in the middle. Barely kept it off the wall. Oh, well, now we hit the wall going into 3. Things are not working out too well for us right now. Probably the most difficult time we've had all day with the lap traffic. And Hamlin goes a lap down again. Truex has gapped us quite a bit too. Crossover move now by Bowman, back to the inside. Drifting it off of turn 2, able to stay in front of him. Dove a little too much into turns 3 and 4. That's going to get tight. My goodness. Little wobble going into turn 1. Doing as good as we can to hold on though. Almirola is still hanging around. He's about 2.5 to 3 seconds off the lead consistently still. He tried to clear the one of Kurt Busch into the side of him off the exit of 4. They slide up the track more and more. So this is likely a 2 pit stop race to the finish from the start of stage number 3 when the green flag dropped. And I think we're going to try a little pit strategy and try to short pit. We haven't gotten a lot of cautions today. Only 4 of them. And one of them was on us in the first 50 laps, so... Yeah, that is virtual Talladega winner Alex Bowman. Andrew, welcome back. About to hit pit road for a 3rd green flag stop of the race. We're going to short pit here in a couple laps. It's going to be a 2 pit stop race to the finish anyway from the start of the stage. So instead of pitting with roughly 10 to 20 laps left, if we stay green to the finish that second time, we're just going to pit now. Try to gain as much time as we can. That's assuming everybody can't make it on one stop. I don't think they can, because roughly we pit all around the same lap. Some guys pit a lap or 2 before us. Some guys pit a couple laps after us. And we're kind of like right in the middle. So we're going to bring it on to pit road. Almost couldn't get it back down in time. So we slid back up the track. Made sure we were going to make it on, and we did not speed. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel. Kurt Busch is still there. He was battling right around the back of the top 5, so he's still in the race. He was back behind Bowman, if I remember right. So our 3rd green flag stop of the race. We've had quite a few of them today. Again, we haven't had many cautions. So we're going to play that kind of a strategy here. Is looking at a really fast stop, 15.9 seconds perhaps. I DNF myself if I wreck 3 times in a race. I call it my own 3-strike rule in a sense, because there are no DNFs in this game, so I try to make it more realistic. Plus, it makes me have to race clean as much as possible, because I don't want to wreck 3 times, obviously. I don't do that on the season without any cautions, though, because it's a little different, obviously. We're already getting punished enough for having to wreck and repair damage with an unscheduled stop because there's no cautions to save us, but on a regular season like this, yeah, that's going to be the case. So we're back to 4th. We haven't lost that many spots. Again, we had a lot of guys a lap down. There were only 3 on the lead lap when we had pit. And that was Eric Almirola, who is now back in the lead again. And there's 1 lap ahead of us, Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. Hamlin, I believe, is still on the lead lap, in fact, at least for the moment. If not, actually no, I think Denny is a lap down, but not by much. So Denny's the first driver a lap down that we at least have to catch here before we get a caution, if we get a caution. If we can get the free pass, the strategy will be all right. Oh man, Stenhouse was locked in behind the 43 of Bubba Wallace and just ran right into the back of him. He gave us a little bit of front bumper damage, not too much to really tell, but definitely didn't help us. No, I didn't feel like coming out of the pits like LePage. Some tracks I come right out onto the track and don't necessarily stay on the apron, and I stay right on the bottom if there's no traffic, but usually try to stay on the apron as much as I can. There's not a lot of grip down there though on this game when you're on the apron trying to get up to speed, so that's really the only reason I pull up on the track sometimes. I've kind of gotten the hang of what tracks are more difficult. If there's an access road like at Indy and Homestead, I'll try to use the access road and stay off the track. This mess will lap traffic up ahead. Kyle Busch trying to slice it up the middle. Oh man, I got sandwiched in between Chase Elliott and couldn't tell who's exactly on the inside. Oh man, I thought they were 4 wide for a second. Hemrick almost poked his nose in there too. So there's Truex up in the 2nd spot. That's a little interesting. It's not going to be a pass for position though for 2nd on Truex. Caution. Now what we needed, 5th caution of the race. It looks like we'll have to take the wave around to get back on the lead lap, so we're going to have to stay out of the pits here, but it's still a one-stop race to the finish for everybody from this point on. So that's why you're seeing practically everyone hit pit road right now. Daniel Hemrick, Martin Truex Jr. still on the lead lap. Or sorry, Eric Almirola and Martin Truex Jr. still on the lead lap. Full running order. So there's a look at the top 10. Got 11th through 20th right there. Your guy David Reagan's in 17th. Having a solid run. A lot of guys, a lot of laps down here in this one. That is for sure. So we're going to be at the rear of the field on a little bit older tires. About 20 lap older tires than the leaders. Hamlin also at the rear of the field because he got the free pass. Green flag is back in the air as Corey LaJoie spun his tires right in front of us. We could not get the restart I would have hoped for that time. This is going to be a mess. Going to move past Hamlin now for third. On older tires, we should be able to get through the back marker cars at least. Despite that caution was definitely a pivotal moment in the race. Hamlin about went up the middle there on LaJoie and I believe Bubba Wallace. No, Joey Gase. No, yeah, it was Bubba Wallace back there in the 43 car. Oh boy. They're coming in hot there on Cody Ware. I wasn't sure if we were going to get to him or not off the exit of 4. We didn't quite get to that point. So that actually worked out kind of perfectly for us. Eric Almirola out in front of the field trying to hold Martin Truex Jr. off. Of course, Almirola not a playoff driver, so if he wins, he will not advance himself to the round of 8. He was eliminated in the last round. He was actually the first driver eliminated. He finished about 40 points below the cut line in the round of 16. So unfortunately for him, he could not have a good round of 16. I think he finished outside of the top 15 every single race. He just did not have a good round. Of course, remember, he made it on points, but I believe he was the second to last driver to make it in on points, just ahead of Ryan Newman in the regular season too. So not the greatest of years for Almirola. Bob got sandwiched in between Kligerman and Dillon. Yep, one more stop for fuel to the end of the race. Caution. Well, at least that'll bunch the field back up again. We'll get to restart with the leaders, but we're still on older tires. Not going to make much of a difference. Looks like Keselowski's going to get the free pass, so he'll be back on the lead lap in 5th. Running order didn't look like it changed much throughout the field. So that is our 6th caution of the race, and it's the 2nd caution within the last few laps. Now it looks like Denny Hamlin's going to hit pit road. We only ran about, I don't even think we got 10 laps in before that caution came out, so I don't think the fresh tires are going to matter much. We'll see. Top 4 all at the front of the field. Here we go. Still a one-stop race to the finish, even though we had guys hit pit road that time, and the green flag is back in the air. On the restart, Almirola spins his tires. And now we're side by side for the lead with Truex going into turn 1. On the bottom of the track, trying to hold the line. Still under him going into turn 3. We are there. Nice run off of turn 4. Still trying to hang with him. And now he's all clear. And he's able to block us going into turn number 1. Hamlin now to the outside as we had to check up. Actually used the brakes that time because Truex pulled right in front of us to keep us from getting under him again. Hamlin trying to get the outside to work. And here comes Almirola on the bottom as we got split there and go from 2nd to 4th. In one corner. Moved by Almirola, and he's able to get past Hamlin as well, so that'll move Eric all the way up to 2nd. Worked out good for him. He's arguably the fastest driver in the race outside of us. So there's a very good chance he's going to catch up to Martin Truex Jr. and have a good chance to take the lead here in a lap or 2. to the inside. Truex back to the top again. Side by side for the lead off of turn 2, and Hamlin might take it 3 wide. He's peeking to the bottom. The 10 and 19 almost made contact off of turn 2, and Truex able to block back down to the bottom again and hold clear. Almirola with a heck of a move again. Up at the front of the field, we're losing ground slightly as we were trying to get back around Alex Bowman. And Almirola's going to clear Truex off of turn 2. Eric Almirola back to the lead again officially at the start-finish line. We're going to clear Bowman off of turn 4. That's not for position. We're still in 4th. We try to close in on the top 3 up ahead. So we got about 20 lap older tires than the leaders and about 25 lap older tires than Denny Hamlin. Hamlin goes to the top side now to try and get around Truex. Got to get a lot of straightaway speed, but I don't think it's going to work, at least for now. A little more than 3/4 of the way through this race. 94 to go out of this 400 lap race. Barely over the 2-hour mark in this one, as this race is pretty much flying by. Only takes roughly 23 seconds to get around Dover, so these last 94 laps could easily fly by as well. Everybody's still 1 pit stop away from the finish of the race. We've been able to stretch the tank roughly 76 laps on a full tank. Despite it showing 82 at the beginning of the run, we burned quite a bit of fuel throughout the course of this race today, so probably want to make it closer to 70 to go just to be safe and make sure we can make it on fuel. But we're not going to short pit this time because we found out the hard way. It didn't work out for us. We had to take the wave around, and that's why we're on a little bit older tires, but we're trying to hang in there. We are over 2 seconds off the lead, but we're not too far back. And there are no more lap cars in between us, so that's also pretty good for us. We'll alternate through the cameras one final time for the rest of this race today. We try to run down Denny Hamlin for 3rd. Seen a lot of these cars just sliding around the racetrack today, including us. Seen near contact. We've seen 4 wide a couple times in this race when battling through lap traffic. Seen a lot over the course of the race today. Amazing how dominant we were in stage 2, and now looking at the scenario we're in here at this point in the race, it's going to be very interesting to the end, to say the least. Once again, Talladega coming up later today. 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It'll be the next Cup race on this season. And it will be the 2nd race of the round of 12. So we'll get to see if a playoff driver will win this one and advance themselves into the next round. As of right now, Almirola is leading. He was eliminated last round, so he did not advance himself in. So maybe we'll have nobody advance themselves into the next round. If we can get the win today, not have to worry about Talladega later in case we have a bad finish, then that'd be awesome. Never know what could happen getting a late race wreck. Cost ourselves a ton of spots, obviously. Truex Hamlin really got held up that time. Can't quite clear the 11 yet. 95 pulled up right in front of him. Nowhere to go for Denny, and that'll move us up to 3rd. And we are about a half second behind Truex now for 2nd. It's going to be close. Can't quite clear Truex off of turn 4. Might be able to use his younger brother, Ryan Truex, as a pick. No, not quite. Truex is able to duck down underneath. What a move. So he nears the right, left rear corner panel. Can't quite get the crossover, but that was a great effort. To the outside now, Bubba Wallace. Less than a second off the lead from Eric Almirola. Truex not too far behind us, and obviously you can still see Hamlin out of the rear view a little bit further back. The top 4 still within about 2 seconds of the lead. There are multiple grooves around Dover. I usually like to stay around the bottom. You can definitely tell in the early going of the runs for sure that the cars can be fast on the top side of the track. Like, although I could slide up near them, they have so much straightaway speed. It's just so hard for us to keep the momentum up and try to stay alongside. So the top side, again, it does work at Dover. You run a little bit off of it, but it's just not my preferred line around this track. Taking a peek underneath the 96. Going to be able to get by him pretty quick. Huge run off of turn 4. Up through the middle now. Trying to get around Almirola quickly. Into turns 3 and 4. Washing up the track. Couldn't get it done. We had to check up because Austin Dillon was there as we were barely able to clear the 32 behind us. I didn't see him there for the moment. He chopped his front nose off. Almirola able to hold on to the lead. Putting up a good fight. Remember, he almost won here a couple years ago, but got caught up in a wreck before winning the very next race at Talladega 2 years ago in the playoffs, back in 2019. Only he was still in the playoffs and advanced himself to the round of 8 that way. Unlike right here on NASCAR Heat 4, he is already eliminated. Looking to the inside, not enough room for us to make the move that time. .78 to go. Gonna take a peek to the top. He's been blocking the bottom pretty consistently. See how much of a run this will give us off of turn 2. We were able to stick the corner that time. Like I said, I don't like running the top, especially with the way our car handles, but might have to do it here. Try and make some moves. Got around Ty Dillon, and now Almirola caught up behind Ryan Preece in the 47. Now he's going to take a peek to the inside. Again, we try to go up the middle. Didn't work the last time. This time into turns 3 and 4. There's no lap cars in front of us. Who will be clear off of turn number 4? Almirola's not quite able to clear us as we stay alongside. He got close though. Battle for the lead is on in the late going here at Dover. That time he's likely going to clear us. Now a crossover move to the inside, but we made contact and that cut our momentum off quite a bit. That's true. Almirola is fast. My grandmother calls him Armadillo too. I didn't know if she was the only one that did that. Yeah, he's definitely got a tough car to beat here in this one, and into the wall off of turn 2. That didn't help matters. Luckily, he got caught behind McLeod the very next corner. We caught up a little bit quicker than we probably would have or should have. Oh, man. Drove it in too deep into 3 and 4. Again, Truex is kind of closing the gap. He's only second behind us. Hamlin's fallen back quite a bit. He's 3.5 seconds behind us in 4th. And of course, remember, Keselowski got the free pass. He's in 5th. About 9 seconds behind us. Lead. We're getting towards the end of our fuel run. Less than 30 laps away from our final stop of the race. Pit window is going to open up very soon. The top side might be the way to go, but I mean, I really don't like running the top. We'll run the top if we can get closer to them. Got a lot of lap traffic coming up, though. That's going to shake things up, too. Got a bunch of about 4 cars. Almirola now caught behind Cody Ware as we try to split Cody Ware. That might have helped us out. We're going to clear the 10 going into turn 3, but now we got Newman and Hemrick just in front of us trying to go up the middle. Contact with the 8. I think we led the lap by inches that time on Almirola as we try to go up the middle again. Didn't work last corner. Got it to work this time. Almirola going to get to the inside of Newman now. Into turn 3. They go 3 wide back there. Jimmy Johnson didn't quite pull in front of us that time. 69 laps to go here at Dover. Things are getting better for us. Again, we're probably going to have to pit 20 to 25 laps before these guys by stretching it to the end. And that's dangerous if we get another caution like we did last time. You see how long it took for us to get the lead. Who's to say we're going to get to the lead again if we have to run on older tires to the end of this race? Plus, we got a little lucky that the field was bunched back up because of a caution, too. If we don't get a caution later, it'll be interesting. Gotcha. Yeah, Almirola, that's a good one, too. Smithfield sponsor. Very key to pull away at this point. 2.5 second lead. And again, I know we have 20 lap older tires and we still got to the lead, but it took us a while, and I think the tires just started evening out over time after about another 20 laps or so that we were finally able to get up there. But if we didn't get that caution to bunch the field back up again, we'd probably still be back in. We might have been able to get around Hamlin by now, but I guarantee we were probably going to be battling Truex still for second. He's about 3 seconds behind Almirola still. So that caution saved us a little bit of time. The second one, the first one hurt us because we couldn't get the free pass. Had to take the wave around. That's why we were on the older tires. So that really split our strategy for the rest of this race if we stay green to the finish. Now, luckily, there's nobody 1 lap down. Everybody's at least 2 laps down. So if we pit, as long as we don't fall 2 laps down, we will automatically get the free pass if there is a caution. We'd still have to restart at the rear of the field, though. But we could then pit and still have equal tires with everybody else. We'd have to come from a long ways back to try and win it. It'd be a lot better of a chance, though, than if we never got the free pass and we were forced to take the wave around again like we did last time. Yeah, right front wearing out, down to 19%. Might be the first run of the race that we might have to pit for tires before the fuel tank starts to run low. Or at least low enough that we're having to pit for fuel first. So this will be our final stop of the race, barring a caution to the end that could possibly split strategy up. more than it's already split. Got to make sure we don't speed. Remember, first green flag stop of the race earlier in stage 1, we had sped onto pit road. We cannot do that here. We will not be able to overcome this small of a gap. Although it's a 6-second lead, that's going to cost us about 15 seconds extra of time on pit road. Got to be smart with it. We had an epic finish here, as I mentioned a couple times over the broadcast, when we ran the first Cup race here this season. Had a last lap pass for the win on Kyle Busch on an epic 16 lap shootout to the finish. Well, we have something similar to that again today. It will be a different kind of shootout. If we stay green, we're going to gain a lot of time for about 20 laps, having fresher tires than everybody else. But then, when they end up pitting after us, about 20 laps or so after we do, they're going to have fresh tires at the end of the race. They're going to be trying to run us back down again. Oh boy. And we didn't need that. That can make your heart skip a beat sometimes. Especially after knowing that that's how we spun out in 3 and 4 back on about lap 50 earlier in the race. There's Kurt Busch again. He's 2 laps down currently in 6th. Now 3 laps down, but he'll get one of his laps back, if not 2, when we hit pit road. Just 1. Because Almirola will have the lead. Yeah, Talladega is going to be a good one as usual. Usually get a lot of viewership there. For those super speedway races too, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. Might hit a record for the stream, for the channel during the course of a stream. Record for most people watching at once is 14, and that was at, I believe that was the Southern 500 at Darlington. We had gotten up to 14, so. Chance we could break that later today. I would not be surprised. Be the final super speedway race of the season. Still have to hit Talladega on the toughest season yet too, so that to look out for. Now they're 3 wide up there. Hamlin caught, oh no, 4 wide off the exit of turn 4, almost. Johnson checked up behind Hamlin. I didn't think they were going to make it if they were going to go 4 wide. Last thing we need is a wreck to happen right in front of us. Best thing that could happen is a caution coming out right before we hit pit road, but we don't want it to happen right in front of us and we could get involved. $50 laps to go. Yeah, the way they were closing in on Denny Hamlin, who was locked behind the lap car on the top side, I really thought they were going to catch up to him. Johnson had to have checked up because it looked like they would have went 4 wide if he didn't check up. They would not have made that off the exit of the corner because it was tight as it was when they were 3 wide. Nobody was giving each other a lot of room. We're going to stay out 1 more lap here before we hit pit road. 48 laps to go here at Dover. We're going to pit this time. Ran it to the end on fuel. Tires made it. Got to make sure we don't speed. 35 miles an hour is the speed limit. Did a good job. 4 fresh tires. We'll go 3/4 of a tank of fuel. Not sure how much that's going to matter anyway. This is it. Final pit stop of the race is actually our 4th green flag stop today. We've had 6 cautions, but they've been spaced out enough to where we've had to take a lot of green flag stops. There we go. 19.1 seconds, probably our slowest stop of the race. Now we need this to at least play green for us to cycle all the way through. We are a lap down, but we are the first driver a lap down in the 5th spot right now. Hamlin is still on the lead lap in 4th. He's roughly a little less than a half a track ahead of Almirola still. So we're going to have a faster car for about 20 laps, and then they're going to have a faster car likely to the end of the race when they have to hit pit road. Right around 25 to 30 laps left is what I'm assuming they'll pit, unless they decide to short pit. But Adele, welcome to the end of the stream. Oh! That wasn't good. Right in the back of Ryan Truex into 3 and 4. That's the thing too. We were going to have a quick closing rate on him as it was because he's a lot slower of a car in this field, one of the back marker cars. But us having fresh tires, we caught him way quicker than what I even expected. I knew we were going to catch him quick, but yeah, the car's definitely a rocket at this point, especially with fresher tires. Again, everybody else has to pit yet. They're probably going to wait a little bit. We've got 4 cars, it looks like, that have DNF'd from this race. So 36 cars on the track. Can get congested here at Dover. We've seen it a couple times. We've seen 4 wide twice, I believe, throughout the course of the race. Almost saw it a 3rd time about 5 to 10 laps ago, and there was about a wreck, but won the first 2 stages of the race, so even if we don't get the win today, it's a good points day to start the round of 12. But I would like to get the win, not have to worry about Talladega being in the next race in case we don't have a good day there. I expect us to run up front, but you never know. We could luck into the fact of not getting stage points and possibly having a bad finish too. But I think we should run towards the front most of the race. Usually hold my own on the super speedways. We did win at Talladega earlier this season. And we won the Daytona 500, but we did not win the Coke Zero 400. So we would not sweep the super speedway races this year, but got 40 to go. Of course, Clint Boyer won the last super speedway race in the Coke Zero 400. He's not having a good day today. Maybe he can win at Talladega and advance himself to the round of 8. Not impossible. Good news is for us, it looks like Almirola is going to be our main competitor likely, unless we get a caution. We might bring more guys back into the race, but Keselowski's actually caught Hamlin. So Brad's all the way up to 3rd despite restarting at the rear of the field. You wonder how fast of a car he's got. I don't think he's got anywhere near as fast of a car as Truex or Almirola though, but guess you never know. Only 38 to go. Again, they're going to pit anywhere between 25 to 30 laps left. The leaders will. Just hoping we stay green. 6 cautions so far today, not counting the stage breaks. Those are all cautions per incident. Oh man, that might have been a little dicey, but we made it work. Didn't feel like being patient. This is the time for us to go. Like I said, they're going to be faster, but we should be able to build up quite a big lead before they have to pit. By staying out as long as they can, they're putting me in danger where if there's a caution, I don't know if we can come from the rear of the field to the front in the final 30 laps of the race at Dover. Laps go by too quick here and everybody will be on fresh tires too. I just don't see that happening. So we need this to stay green at least long enough for everybody to hit pit road. Or get our lap back, whatever happens first, but I don't think we're going to get our lap back before they hit the pits anyway. Truex takes it 3 wide to the bottom for a moment. They kind of split Ryan Truex. Daniel Hemrick was in the mix, so here comes Martin Truex Jr. He's pitting early. A lot earlier than what I would have expected. About 5 to 10 laps. How long will Almirola stay out? And it looks like Almirola is going to pit this time. So they're pitting a little earlier than I expected. Again, they're going to have a faster car to the end of the race. Will we stay green? 33 to go. We're back on the lead lap. Hamlin and Keselowski, I believe, are still on the track. Yep, Keselowski stayed out, so he's now the leader. Denny Hamlin's on pit road. No, Hamlin's still on the track too. So the top 2 have to pit yet. We're full lap ahead of Truex. We are not a full lap ahead of Eric Almirola. But I think Eric's still on pit road. He's probably just coming off now. Keselowski's still out there. He's definitely trying to stretch the fuel tank all the way to its limit. There's Almirola. We just put him well, we didn't put him a lap down, but we're a lap ahead of him. Yeah, that's going to help us a ton, even if we get a caution. Just a matter of that 11 and 2 car now. Like I said, I think they can run it to 25 to go at the longest. I don't think Keselowski pit under the last caution. But if he did, maybe that's why he's staying out still. I don't think he could stretch it all the way to the finish, but could be wrong. He's still going pretty fast out there. Hamlin's staying out of the pits too. He's still running towards the top. We're going to catch Denny Hamlin before he even hits pit road. Oh, Hamlin definitely pit, if I remember. Yeah, Hamlin did pit, so he can go about 5 laps longer than that. So Denny probably doesn't have to pit until 20 to go. And now he's going to pit. Keselowski's on pit road also. We'll cycle through as the leader. 27 to go. We're back out in front here at Dover. Short pitting gave us such a huge advantage. As assuming we stay green long enough to come back around to the front straightaway, we're going to put Hamlin and Keselowski a lap down too. Which means Almirola will cycle through into second. Once again. So having a pit when we did definitely helped us out. So really the only chance they're going to have is if we get back-to-back cautions. 25 to go. So they're probably only closer to 10 to 15 lap pressure tires instead of 20. Hamlin and Keselowski would be closer to 20 lap pressure tires, but they're back in 4th and 5th. Almirola is catching us. There is a possibility if Eric Almirola can unlap himself and then get a caution, that might actually be his best shot to win this. That wouldn't be impossible, because he is catching us quite a bit with fresher tires. We had a lot bigger gap on him. We're only probably a couple seconds ahead of him now. Lap traffic is helping me a little bit, but yeah, that's the only thing we have to be worried about, I guess, is if Almirola unlaps himself and then we get a caution, because then we would restart right alongside of him, and he would be on fresher tires too. Unless we ended up deciding to pit, but even then, it would be a heck of a shootout to the finish. Almirola, of course, hasn't won a race all season, made the playoffs on points, and then was eliminated in the first round. So he's looking for his first win of the season. And I believe that would make him the 8th different winner this year. Menard pulling down in front of us. Almirola's got heavy lap traffic. They were 3 wide right in front of him. Try to get under the 21. Okay, we were getting close to Austin Dillon. I really didn't want to go 3 wide off the exit of the corner. Try to stretch it underneath the 3. Right there on him. And a lot of lap cars in between us and Almirola still. 16 laps left. It's basically a race to get to the white flag at this point. That way if the caution comes out, we'll still be able to get the victory. This would be a 105 lap green flag run to the finish, if I'm thinking correctly. We might have gotten caution a little bit later than that. I don't think we did. I think that seems about right. Yeah, because everybody pit with about 25 to 35 to go, so you only run about 70 to 75 laps roughly on fuel. We ran 76 at the most, so yeah, that'd be insane. 6 cautions in the race, running the final 105 laps under green. Becoming a possibility. We're getting close to the finish. Truex up to second now. And that could be big playoff implications if a caution comes out now. Truex is actually caught. Eric Almirola, Truex is a playoff contender still. And even if he can't get back on the lead lap with the caution, that's still an extra point he would have gotten, or he wouldn't have gotten if he didn't pass Almirola. They're battling back though. Eric's back up to second again. It's interesting. I wonder where Keselowski's at, if he's anywhere close to him. Starting to kind of pull away from Eric. Again, they had a lot of lap traffic back there, and now he's starting to battle with Truex too, so it's costing him a little bit of time. We'll have 10 laps to go at the line this time. I think that's Corey LaJoy up there that's running as like a ghost car. I don't know why he is invisible, but that's interesting. Yeah, it is LaJoy. He's running in 29th. I'll still try to pass him clean. Alright, that worked out. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know, whatever. We're almost to the end. Six to go. Yeah, we would need back-to-back cautions for Almirola or Truex or whoever gets the free pass to have a shot. Because one caution would just line them up at the rear of the field, and they're not going to have enough laps left, even though they are on fresher tires. And even if they decided to pit again, it still wouldn't matter. We're at the point now, we would only have 2 laps left if we did get a caution. Yeah, you never know. David Reagan has won at Talladega before. In that 38 car too for Front Row Racing. Got his first career win at Daytona, Coke 0400 back in 2011. So he's got 2 career Super Speedway victories. You never know. Three to go. Caution comes out, we go to overtime. And now just 2 more miles left. Ooh. We'll loose off of turn 2. Ran a pretty good race. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Around Dover, looks like we're going to sweep the Dover victories here today. Winning both stages and the race. That's 7 playoff points that we can bring to the next round, because off of turn 4 for the final time, Ryan Blaney will win at Dover, and Blaney will be the first to advance into the round of 8. in the playoffs. There we go. I'm trying to do like a drag style burnout, but the banking's not helping me at all. Oh well. Oh, we blew the engine out on it anyway. Yeah. That's a nice one, Ravish. Yep. All right. So let's take a look at your race results here in this one. Again, we were the only driver to finish on the lead lap today at Dover. Definitely dominated, led the most laps, won both stages. 2 hours, 41 minutes total time over the course of this race today. Eric Almirola second as a non-playoff driver. Truex third. Keselowski fourth. Hamlin fifth. Kurt Busch sixth. Chase Elliott in seventh. Kevin Harvick eighth. Alex Bowman ninth. And Joey Logano will round out the top 10. Tyler Reddick not bad in 11th. He qualified third. Matt Tifft not bad in 15th. Hemrick 14th. Good runs for those guys. Reagan 18th. Had a lot of guys step up to finish inside the top 20 today. Let's take a look at who DNF'd in this one. Only 4 drivers had DNF'd in this race. Jamie McMurray, Brendan Gaughan, Michael McDowell, and Daniel Suarez. None of them are in the playoffs. Rough finishes for playoff drivers. Matt DiBenedetto finished 32nd. Got no stage points today. Just a terrible run for him. And then Kyle Busch was the next closest, 16th. Not a great run. He didn't get any stage points either. Boyer, 13th. Eric Jones, 12th. All 4 of those guys that finished outside the top 10 that were in the playoffs did not get any stage points on top of it. All right, so take a look at the playoff standings. Again, we advanced to the round of 8. We had a lot of playoff points coming in anyway. It was looking good for us, but just in case we got the win, we don't have to worry about Talladega. We could just strictly go for the playoff points during that race. And it's pretty tight for the most part. Even Hamlin, even though he's still second right now, he's only 21 above the cut line. But you look, Kyle Busch -4, Boyer -8, Jones -9, and DiBenedetto -20. But remember, DiBenedetto is -20 going into the Roval, and he won that race, so you never know what could happen. Talladega later today, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you guys there. There's Ryan Blaney in victory lane. Blaney got the win at Talladega last year, too, in the playoff race. Martin Truex Jr. had the fastest lap at 23.087. That is blistering fast around Dover. Led 287 of the 400 laps today. Denny Hamlin started 19th, finished 5th. He had a pretty good car. And Austin Dillon, who started 6th, finished 26th. He did not have as great of a day. Again, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That is going to be it here for this one. We'll run Talladega later today as promised for this doubleheader. And then Kansas will be tomorrow morning. Hope to see you guys then. Thanks for the support as always. I appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your family. This channel is growing in popularity very quickly with these full race live streams. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Hit the bell notification button so you guys never miss an upload. And hit the like button if you enjoyed today's race commentary or the video in general. Again, I'll see you guys later today.